When we first started working with him, he had like 100 subscribers. The first month, he sends me a screenshot of the Stripe revenue of that month that it was like $82,000, and he had less than 200 subscribers at that point. The leads that come from YouTube are like in a league of their own. And I've had multiple different clients that they say the calls that I get from YouTube leads are enrollment calls more than they are sales calls.
For YouTube, I want to give people a bit of a taste of what they can expect, right? Because we use YouTube for our business, our agency, and it's at the moment, it's our number one lead generation channel. The leads that come from YouTube are hotter than my referral leads. And I'm not saying my referral leads are shit. I'm just saying my YouTube leads are really awesome. So we'll get into a bit of that today, but I'm interested to know what results or examples have you seen for businesses when they actually implement YouTube properly?
Well, you totally nailed it by saying that the leads that come from YouTube are like in a league of their own. And I've had multiple different clients that they say the calls that I get from YouTube leads are enrollment calls more than they are sales calls, because it's like they've spent this time with you, they've binge watched your content. By the time they come to a webinar or come to an event or get on a sales call, they're hot, they're ready to buy, they've already spent time with you in so much content. And there's that saying of like, it takes 7 hours for someone to go in their mind from acquaintance to friend. Like, we've orchestrated that through YouTube content. And the more you can make your content bingeable, they get to spend that 7 hours with you throughout different pieces of content and the different interactions on the different kinds of videos. That yes, by the time they come to you, they're ready to buy. So I have a client that I love telling this story, that he does marketing for churches, which is like a pretty interesting, like, dialed in niche. There's not that many pastors all throughout America that are, in his demographic. And for the longest time, he had a very small YouTube channel. When we first started working with him, he had like 100 subscribers. The month after, like the first month, he sends me a screenshot of the Stripe revenue of that month that it was like $82,000, and he had less than 200 subscribers at that point. Like, because it's so dialed in, because the audience is like, his content is specifically for that audience, people will come to these videos, they would binge watch his content. For him, he had a VSL funnel, so they'd go to his funnel, they'd opt in, they'd watch a little, I think it was like 10-minute training video at the time, and then go to book a call after it. And he's like, they're basically enrollment calls. Some of them are already like, take my money. I just want to make sure that you were a legit human. I'm ready to go. And for him, like, he turned off his Facebook ads because he didn't need to run ads. Like, again, the quality of lead was so much different coming from YouTube. And for years, it was funny. He tells this story of his buddies kind of like razzing him and going like, are you so pissed that you like spent so much time and money on your YouTube channel and you only have, at this point, maybe it was like 4,000 subscribers? And he's like, you have no idea what's on the back end. Like, people are able to generate leads even with small channels. And I think that's a really important thing that I want to highlight is sometimes people will think, well, YouTube is going to take a long time, or it doesn't start getting success for me until I have like 100,000 subscribers. And it's just not true. I have a client too that I have a screenshot from her where she's like, my video had 8 views and I had someone go straight from a view to a sale. So let go of vanity metrics.
I love it. And in B2B, or even like high ticket B2C, right? We're not content creators. We're not trying to make money from AdSense. Like, my AdSense money is, I don't know, like $20, $100 on a video. And I just literally like, oh my God, that's not even a dinner out. It's not even cocktails for me and Marley in London. Like, that's not enough to pay for anything. And the money, like, even when we first started our YouTube and I was getting maybe 20, 50, 100 views on a video, they were bringing in high ticket clients. And I think a big part of it is the human brain can't differentiate, like, the monkey part of our brain between someone being on TV and someone being on YouTube on a computer, right? And the way that we can like build a relationship with somebody one to many is insane. And it starts to compound, and it's an asset for leverage, which we'll get into. But before we get into that, why do you think more businesses don't use YouTube as a lead acquisition channel? What do you think is stopping them? What sort of misconceptions do you hear from people?
Yeah, I think part of it is you mentioned this monkey brain that we have that it's like we have this TikTok brain that we expect content to just be like fast and that it has to be have all these flashy elements to it. And a lot of people are also used to running Facebook ads where you can put $1 in and get $2 out sometimes if it works well, but it's definitely not consistent. And the moment that you stop paying for Facebook ads, the leads stop coming. And so there is a little bit more extra effort required into building a channel, figuring out the audience that you're speaking to, figuring out your content personality that when you're on camera, it's actually coming across in a way that people are enjoying. That it's, you have to have good hooks in your content. You have to be able to hold someone's attention. And I think that because of TikTok brain and this instant gratification mindset, if it's not quick, like sometimes people just give up way too soon.